everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Witching Hour. A very, very special episode for a whole number of reasons. One, today is Halloween, so happy Halloween, everybody. Also, right now we are in Los Angeles at I Like Scary Movies. We loved it so much when we were here in, what was it, June, that we had to come back and we had to meet the creator of I Like Scary Movies, Maximilian.
Hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Haleigh and I are so happy to be sitting here.
We're so glad to have you here.
I'm very impressed by, we're not even in the meat of it right now, but it still looks beautiful up here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a nice vibe, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
feels homey.
for everybody out there, I mean, I would decorate my home like this.
Absolutely.
I told you, I want to go knock over a dresser.
My house. A lot of this stuff is actually from my house.
Seriously?
No joke, yeah.
Oh. Your house
This
seems
is
cool.
how I live.
I'm just
it's a
wait,
lifestyle.
now I'm
This is a
curious, like,
lifestyle.
what's left in your house?
That's the thing.
Okay.
It's literally bare.
For everybody out there who does not know what this event is, can you give a brief explanation of what I Like Scary Movies is?
Yeah, so I Like Scary Movies is sort of my love letter to horror. You know, it's my way of celebrating these movies in a different way. So I'm calling it an interactive art experience because I feel like it's all three of those things. It's interactive, it's an experience, and it's all based around art. So what we're doing is we're basically kind of, you know, disrupting the normal view of horror. We're giving people a different way to access these movies in sort of a different way than they have before. So I want to have people enjoy the remixing of some of this content, as well as go into scenes that they might be familiar with from different movies. And then just kind of, you know, break the mold of what we have come to learn from these movies.
Is there anywhere else that you got even the slightest taste of what you want people to experience here? Was there some sort of event or anything you went to that made you say, I could do that, and, you know, I could do it to a much further extent?
Horror related, no. Because I honestly feel like there hasn't really been anything quite like this in the horror genre that I've at least experienced. Most of what we get with horror are classic haunts, which I'm a big fan of. And I will be going to quite a few of them. Yeah, I have gone to quite a few of them this season. But I wanted to do it different, you know? Because I feel like we've grown up with a lot of these movies, and then when you have a current movie like It, you know, it's brand new, yet I want to do it, I want to invite people in a different way.
Can you talk a little bit about the journey from ideation to creation and then opening, and how long was that? How long was the seed of an idea there for you before you actually got going? And how did you collect all the pieces you need, for goodness sake?
Yeah, I mean, that's, gosh, I mean, I wanted to do something with scary movies for as long as I can remember. I mean, I'm a Halloween kid, and, you know, we were the Halloween house on the block. You know, there's always one in a neighborhood, and ours was it. And so I've always wanted to play with these movies. And so I approached Warner Brothers, I think it was in 2018, like early 2018, and wanting to just kind of see if they'd be willing, you know, because I had just finished doing an all-star cast show of the original Willy Wonka live performance at the Hollywood Bowl, and which was a dream come true for me because I'm a big Wonka fan. And so we had Weird Al and, you know, and Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, and just having a great time. And so I made this great relationship with Warner Brothers, with global themed entertainment and consumer products, and got to know these people really well. And I thought, this is a great opportunity because Warner's got a fantastic crop of horror movies. And I started digging into what was specifically Warner, and it turned out to be some of my favorite movies. So I was like, this is it. This is my moment to be able to kind of pounce and see if they'd be willing. So I kind of just asked somebody out to lunch and said, there's one contact that I've come really close with, and said, would you let me just play with these movies? Would you just let me reinterpret these movies in my way and just kind of artistically explore them a little bit in a different way than people have before? And shockingly, they jumped at it.
It's that easy.
That's wonderful.
Well, and it was that easy in the beginning, and then it got very difficult. But it was, you know, because these are very beloved movies. I mean, it's The Shining, for fuck's sake. This is not anything that you can take too lightly, you know. So we had to get, like, all the concepts that I have for The Shining. We had to get Kubrick's estate to sign off, which thankfully they had no problem whatsoever immediately. No notes, no anything, just yes. Wow. They even said, we'd love actually to see this happen. We haven't seen it quite interpreted this way before, which felt amazing because I was like, oh shoot, Kubrick's estate, what are we gonna do with that? So it was all about sort of like getting the positioning quite right, and horror is a massive, massive aspect for Warner Brothers, and so it came at just the right time. I quickly started ideating on all the concepts, watched the movies unbelievable amount of times over and over and over again, and I knew them backwards and forwards already anyway. But in this kind of different way, I was watching them in a sort of different way to sort of see what would resonate with me. And so I'm here to tell you, you watch The Shining 17 times in a row, it's going to stick with you.
So you're watching these movies through, just kind of waiting for that moment that you can recreate here?
Well, and just to see what would inspire me. Not necessarily recreate, but inspire and to try to do a different way. Like things like, for instance, the carpet room in The Shining. You know, and using that incredible carpet pattern from the Overlook and sort of, you know, reinterpreting it a little bit. So I wanted to create that room so that it had this menacing, repeating pattern that felt like you were cut off from the world, and sort of what the family felt being there. And having it be this claustrophobic sort of feeling about it.
The spin on the hedge maze in the last one,
Thank you. And
I think that was one of my favorite pictures I got.
That's awesome. We have it back again for this iteration, but slightly different.
Okay.
So that's one thing I really wanted to do with this as well, and I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit about just kind of reinterpreting even the first show. So yeah, when I would watch these movies, I would just see what sprung forward and what spoke to me, and I just didn't give it too much thought. I just kind of went with my gut, and wanted it to just be a real big mixed bag of recreating to reinterpreting, because I also want to be kind and respectful to these movies, because they're important, you know, and they're part of our culture, and I have a lot of respect for them.
It's nice to hear that some of the folks that were affiliated with those movies just want to embrace the community too, and let you do your own spin on it.
Completely. It's so important to them and so important to me that I feel like there is so much to say with these movies, and also different ways of exploring them.
It's just exciting to feel like you're part of them too.
I
think that's what you achieved. I'm so excited to explore because I think that's what you achieved so well the last time. It's like I just scroll through our photos sitting on the couch in the Beetlejuice room. It's like we must have a million, but that to me is one of like just the most immersive things where you can actually feel like you were in a frame of that movie.
Oh yeah, we had great fun there that day.
And we had a lot of fun exploring Beetlejuice. I mean, that movie is really close to my heart, and you don't get a chance to really enjoy a lot of things with Beetlejuice. And so we really found with that movie in particular that people were really excited because you don't get a chance to have a piece of Beetlejuice really anymore.
What were the pros and cons of round one? What were the things that you learned that you had to apply to this the second version?
That's a good question. You know, when I first found the Desmond location on Wilshire, I never had that large of a space in mind. And I ended up really embracing it. At first, when I walked in there, I was super daunted because it was like 25,000 square feet. It was a giant city block, and I had never imagined it in that way. To be honest, I imagined it more so in this way for the second show. So we're kind of doing it in reverse. Whereas the first time around, I thought of a location was going to be something like this, a little more intimate, still big, but you know, have a little bit more of a cohesive vibe. That was slightly more stretched out. And I feel like this secondary show sort of maintains its soul now. And I think that's really important with horror. I feel like it needs to have its soul. It needs to have that vibe. And so that was the biggest thing that I think I learned from the first time around was, you know, sort of encapsulating it a little bit more and making sure that it doesn't lose its soul.
Well, like you said, you also made some tweaks this time around. So for the people who, like us, were lucky enough to visit the first one, what can you sort of tease for them that's a little different this time?
Well, the thing you can always count on with me is that I'm this shape-shifting individual. I can't sit still, and I can't do the same thing over and over again. I really want this to be a mutating, ever-evolving, shape-shifting show. You're never going to see the same thing twice. Now, you may see the same installations, but done differently. So that's one thing we're always going to do here. So some examples of that are, like you said, the hedge maze with red rum. That's in a different setting. We've actually taken the Nightmare on Elm Street pieces and reversed them. So the Freddy glove, instead of it being in the boiler room with the brick walls and the pipes and all that like it was before, now we have the Freddy glove ripping through his own sweater, which has really been fun. So we took all of the Freddy sweater pattern fabric that was in the throne room, if you remember in the first time around, and we actually applied it into the glove room now. And so he's literally ripping through his own sweater. It's got a lot of energy, a lot of really cool movement about it, and then we put the moving faces in around the glove. Now the throne is in the boiler room now. And so we've done some things we had this really cool installation of the melted Freddy skin with some victims coming through that was like this really cool tactile piece in the middle of the hallway at the old location. We actually now took that and bust out some of the holes in the brick in the boiler room and have that now kind of permeating through the brick. And we have this cool toxic waste dump of Freddy's skin coming out of this drum. So we just, the thing is, the more comfortable I am, and the more comfortable I am with the space and the pieces, and I become a little bit more just free with it, and I'm able to reinvent it a little bit.
Did you have to watch The Shining again 17 times?
I've watched that movie even just on my own. It's like I just every single time it's like I have to watch it. I have to see when it's on cable. I have to watch it.
Once it's on, you can't turn it off.
Yeah. No, you have to. So we've done a lot of things like that. All the It stuff has been kind of reimagined a little bit. Cool. The Fear Tower that we had as a centerpiece in there, we've actually turned it into this really cool tornado now. I wanted something with movement, and so we took one of the Pennywise heads, and if you remember, we had 4 of those heads on the outside of the Fear Tower at the old location, and now we took one and split it in half, put it on an existing I-beam that was in the space, and have this tornado now coming out of his mouth. So it looks like he's just kind of like, it's this storm, because I envision, Pennywise is this storm that comes through Derry. And so we wanted to kind of have that as a little call out. And then my biggest, most favorite thing that we have right now, it's the most new thing right now, which is Friday the 13th. So we've got this really cool installation of nearly 2,000 hanging crystals making a 10-foot tall version of the Jason mask.
Wow.
Which is something, I really wanted to do something with this movie that people wouldn't expect. So when you turn the corner from Beetlejuice and you go into Camp Crystal Lake, you will turn to the left and see this massive version of the Jason mask made out of crystals. And then over it, it's suspended over this lake that is all machete blades.
Can't wait to see it.
Just like, I can kind of picture what you're saying, but I know it's like, you have to see that for
it's these
yourself.
mirrored machete blades that are all sort of, fish scaled on one another that create this really great energy flow. And we actually had somebody in today who is very spiritual, and she came in to do a walkthrough today, and she turned the corner, and she was really daunted, but in a positive way, of all the energy that was coming off of the crystals. Yeah, she said, there's a lot of energy right here. It's kind of, and she walked up onto the dock. There's a little dock around the lake, and she walked up there very apprehensively. And she's like, there's a lot of energy coming off of this mask right now. I was like, that's awesome, I love it.
It's good
I love hearing stuff
And
like
speaking of energy, this place is officially haunted.
Oh.
No joke.
How so?
I unfortunately have not seen it. The one guy who would love to see a ghost has never seen a ghost. I've seen things happen, I've seen things move. I know I pee myself, but I want to see a damn ghost. So my wife, Robin, who's the executive producer of Scary Movies, she's seen it. And quite a few of the people have seen it, and it's this man, and he's made himself very, very known. And one story was Robin and 2 of our people, Mitchell and Lisette, were in the production office, all working silently, just kind of, late one night, and all of a sudden they just kind of started clutching their chest a little bit, like kind of just feeling this weird, like tightness, and they all looked to each other and they're like, "Do you feel that?" And they were all collectively feeling like this tension in their chest. And so Robin, who's very in tune spiritually, just called out to the ghost and said, look, we know you're here. We know that we want to acknowledge that you're here with us, and we understand, and we're all together here. It's all good. And then all of a sudden, the tightness went away.
Do you feel anything?
Collectively, though.
I feel like you're more spiritual than I am. I don't know. Maybe
Are you?
there's a
Are you in
chance.
tune with that kind of stuff?
Kind of,
Yeah?
but also I'm not super interested in being with a ghost. I'm more of a no thank you type person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, but feel nothing.
I'm sure you're lovely, but no thank you.
See, I'm the same way. I really want to see something, and I just haven't. I don't know, what's that about?
I don't really know. We have
Yeah.
one guy in the office who sees things all the time.
And he has no interest,
And I
probably.
love listening to his stories.
Yeah.
But he's like, I've had enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Riley.
Really?
Riley's got stories for days about like things
Kidding.
moving and
Wow.
TVs turning on. You have to ask Riley about his story
Okay.
sometime. Yeah, he's got good ghost
And
stories.
you could care less, probably.
I think there's like a degree of curiosity there, but I feel like I'm the only one actually itching to experience it and just like
That's why we
completely blocked
haven't.
off from it.
Maybe we just don't care
I don't
a
know.
lot.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm too open to it.
Yeah.
Before we wind down our conversation with you,
Yeah.
we have to ask our two go-to questions. I'll go first this time.
Oh, cool.
Is there any horror movie, TV show, book, like anything at all that you've experienced or watched recently that you want our viewers to know about? It could be
Oh,
an
God.
old thing, a new thing, anything at all.
To know about? I don't know. I mean, people ask me a lot, oftentimes, what my favorite horror movie is, and honestly, my go-to, like, feel good, if you want to say, horror movie is the original Poltergeist.
Yeah.
That's like my
good
go-to
choice.
feel good
Yeah.
horror movie. It makes me, it just that whole, I love the energy that was created in that movie, and so I love that movie.
Is that the movie that started it all for you, that kicked off the love of the genre?
Well, the movie that really affected me the most as a kid, that scared the absolute shit out of me, was Exorcist. I mean, I think that's
Also
kind of universal.
a good answer.
That and Phantasm scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Okay.
Somehow my parents left me alone at night when I was a kid watching the horror movies, and I had horrific nightmares off those two. Yeah. So that affected me the most horror-wise.
Okay.
I would definitely say.
I would love to see a Phantasm version of I Like Scary
Right?
Movies. That'd be so cool.
I know, that'd be
It's
fun.
like perfect for it.
You know, I know. We'd do something with that.
Did you guys ever consider Conjuring for this?
Yeah.
Sorry, that just like popped in my mind.
No, that's definitely something we've talked about.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Many more installations to come.
Well, that's the great thing about I Like Scary Movies is that it's always, because the first one we had Lost Boys in it.
Yeah.
Now we sort of changed it out for Friday the 13th, so it's always going to be, again, like that sort of shape-shifting show. So we're going to add and subtract, movies as we go along, and that's definitely a universe that I would love to explore.
I like to hear that.
Cool. All right,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got one more question.
Burning
for you.
question.
Yeah.
Burning question.
Burning.
Do you have any pets?
Yeah.
Nice.
Cat and a dog.
Let's
What are
hear
their
about
names?
him.
Ridley and Macho. Macho, which I'm not a big cat guy, but I'm a big dog guy. But this cat, we treat him like a dog, and he acts like a dog. He comes when he's called. He's the most badass cat, and he actually speaks to you. He's super vocal. So you'd be like, "What's up, Macho?" Just be like, "Meow."
Nice.
He's very like, and if you say his name, he'll respond back to you. You ask him a question, he responds back to you.
Macho and
Ridley-
Dewey would have a whole conversation
Oh,
together.
cool.
And Macho's a big dude. He's a big cat, but somehow he's super agile and he's a great hunter. He catches bugs like you wouldn't believe, and you give him a little bit of props for that, and he's like on it. And he's a great cat actually. And Ridley, who is a Jindo, like this Korean breed, curly tail, big old ears, awesome dog.
Do you dress them up for Halloween?
I don't trust him.
I'm surprised you don't.
I don't.
Actually, I feel like so much energy probably goes into this. Are you still the Halloween house guy?
I'm not, unfortunately. I have a little bit of stuff at the house this year, but really this has been great to do it during Halloween because it's my year, it's my time to celebrate. And so I've been able to pour all of my energy, my Halloween energy here.
And now
Hence my house is here.
we got to explore this I guess a secondary house for you. We're going to talk
Oh my
some
God,
of our
yeah.
favorite horror movies and explore every single room. So Maximilian, thank you so much.
you so
for
much.
sitting with us and for having us here today.
Happy Halloween.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that was a lovely chat. And now, because it's Halloween and because we are at I Like Scary Movies, we're going to give a whole bunch of Halloween movie recommendations that are tied to different sections of the installation here. So don't let me forget anything. For our It conversation, we're each going to pick our favorite horror movie of 2019. Then for The Shining, I feel like I already said something wrong.
I think we had a miscommunication. I thought we were not picking one, but giving recommendations for Halloween watching.
Give a bunch. Then for The Shining, we're going to talk about Stephen King movies.
Yes.
Many of them. Just like I can't.
You get one.
And then, fine. Then it's Friday the 13th, and we're going to talk about some great slasher movies, and then we're going to wind down with something family-friendly in honor of Beetlejuice and talk about things that older moviegoers like Roka will enjoy. The little kids, the little kids out there are going to like. I couldn't help it. He made an old joke on Movie Talk earlier. He was asking for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so 2019. What do you got? What's the first movie that comes to your mind?
Crawl.
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course,
I think I could read your mind.
Been shy about how much I love that movie. There's no secrets. I love Crawl. I have plans already to show it to like 3 or 4 people because I just got the Blu-ray. Watch Crawl for Halloween. You will have a great creature feature.
It's true. I feel like I think it's also a great one to watch on Halloween when you're celebrating with a bunch of people too.
Yeah, I guess
it's that crowd pleaser communal vibe that really makes it the perfect Halloween watch.
This should be maybe amended or have an addendum, whatever the word is. I don't have a brain. It's fine.
Added stuffs.
I'm adding things. It's not. Midsummer might be my favorite horror movie of the year, but it's not the one I would recommend. Watch this on Halloween.
It's not like a communal party movie.
No, it's like a 3-hour depressing breakup movie. I don't know, and it's super sunny and summery.
Yeah.
So watch it on Halloween if you want to. Actually, isn't that director's cut out there?
It is.
Maybe.
It is. I want to see that. I still haven't seen the director's cut yet. All right. Crawl is definitely on my list as well, but I can't go through this conversation and not name drop the movie that's still, I think at this point in time, it's still my second favorite movie of the year, and it's Us.
Of course.
And the Us score is still on my running playlist, so it's just like when I need a little kick in the ass, all I hear is that score, and then I have to run from the tethered person that doesn't exist behind me. But I don't necessarily know if it's the greatest communal watch, but I think it has some really strong scare sequences. Not in the same vein as Crawl, at least.
Oh, I see.
It's not like crazy, wild type reaction. But especially having just gone through the Us Maze at Halloween Horror Nights, that to me just feels like it's got the right vibe. And I really think any time of year is a good time of year to watch, pretty much any of Jordan Peele's stuff.
And I'm sure we will have all seen many tethered at the Halloween parties.
There's going to be tethered all over. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot.
So
and with how many scissors that The Office has accumulated, we could have an epic collider tethered group costume.
Oh, sure.
That'd be wildly disturbing. I don't want that.
Well, either watch Us for Halloween and see tethered, or go to any Halloween party and see some tethered.
You're covered no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to add in another one? Because I have one on the tip of my tongue.
Go for it.
You could probably guess what it is, because it's
Pet
also
Sematary?
still in my top 10.
Wow.
I know not everybody out there liked it, but you know what? I did. I liked it a lot. I saw it many a times. I really liked the adaptation, and I think if you want the complete horror package, you have 2 really good Pet Sematary movies and great source material. They're all widely available. Check them out. It's probably more in the midsummer pile where it's a pretty dark depression. You're not going to walk out feeling great unless you're feeling great in terms of having seen a great horror movie. Which, remember when I was skipping down the street in Austin after we saw it?
Oh yeah, I sure
that was
do.
That was a moment. But
it does cheer some people up. It put you in a space. Is it the dead kids?
No, maybe not. I think I was just so happy for the directors and for the cast that I really admire, and I just wanted to see a really good interpretation of that story. And I was really impressed by how they adapted something that I thought was already a pretty good original movie, but they added just enough where it still maintains like the core of the Stephen King novel, but with a little extra frill to it.
I will throw in Annabelle Comes Home,
Yes.
which should have come out at Halloween time anyway, because it's a perfect Halloween movie.
That is a
But
really good Halloween movie.
the upside is that now it's available to rent for
Yeah.
Halloween. So do that, because it's perfect. And it's even set during the fall time.
That's like someone needs to build an Annabelle-themed haunted house.
Yes.
I
would
don't
like
know
to do
what
that.
I don't know what the restrictions are at a place like a Halloween Horror Nights, but it's just like a maze that's the Warrens' artifacts room.
Well-
Sounds like a genius idea, which, you know, Universal Warner Brothers doesn't really work. And also Warner Brothers has their thing that I've actually never been to.
Yeah.
On the lot.
Well, I was going to say, being where we are, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually there's a Warren artifact room, maybe.
I guess
at
so.
Something like
Have
this.
you ever been to the to the Warner Brothers one?
No.
That's one of the few in LA that you know, horror experience box for Halloween that I've never ticked, and I really want to go.
Been. Also, one more just came to mind.
Yeah.
Little Monsters just went up on Hulu.
Oh,
Watch
that's a
that.
good option.
It's super fun, super crowd pleasing.
Yeah.
And it's on Hulu now somehow already. Amazing.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
There's
Why
a
don't you
lot
also
of-
go over to Shudder? There's a million and one things on
Oh,
Shudder too.
gosh,
Just
yes.
scroll through. All right. So we've talked a little bit about 2019 horror movies via it. Now we're going to move on over to the Shining territory and talk about Stephen King adaptations, which I kind of cheated already, and I did it.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah.
A little.
Pet
but-
Cemetery. And hopefully come, what is it, November 15th? Am I saying the right date?
Wow. No,
For
I don't know.
Dr. Sleep? I don't know.
Maybe.
But I hope come whenever Dr. Sleep hits theaters that winds up being pretty high up on my ranked list as well.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
One more, actually. I'm like thinking of all these movies.
Okay.
now. Before we go to Stephen King, one last super fun, very Halloween energy movie, Escape Room. It's perfect for a party.
I feel like it's because of it came. It was
in
in
January.
like the second weekend in January,
So
first
fast.
weekend in
Yeah.
January. It feels like forever ago. That also is a great option.
All right, now,
All
Stephen
right,
King.
all right, Stephen
Sorry
King.
for throwing off the plane.
So, do you have a movie that comes to mind? I'm so steeped in the books right now. So at this point in time, I am this close to finishing The Outsider, and it's really freaking good. It's really good, and I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna look it up while we're sitting here, but I'm pretty sure there's an adaptation in the works with a killer cast.
Oh.
And that is a great story with a ton of meaty roles in it, and I'm not gonna spoil anything for you in case you haven't read it, but for everybody who knows the book, you're gonna know immediately who I'm thinking of. There's a recurring character from other Stephen King novels who is one of my favorite literary characters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Watch that next Halloween, maybe.
I'm gonna look it up.
Depending on how long the adaptation takes. Well, it springs to mind
Yes, it
again,
does.
given where we are, but particularly the first It, although I like Chapter 2, I think is a really good Halloween movie. Super spooky energy. And you know what, the part of the fun of that one is that it feels like a roller coaster almost. It's like very thrilling and fun and boo scary. So that's definitely one. Obviously, again, The Shining. I mean, we're going to be walking through The Shining soon.
Yes. The Shining's always a must.
The Shining is always a must. I personally watch it more in the winter because it's so snowy, but it's spooky as heck. It's a perfect
I think it's
Halloween
appropriate
watch.
for both times.
Yeah.
So, this article, according to Deadline, HBO is finding an outsider for its upcoming King project. They got a director, Andrew Bernstein. I wish I could find a date on this article before. This was 8 months ago, so hopefully it's well underway, and I'm pretty sure I saw some more information on this fairly recently, but I would like to see this made. Not to make my entire suggestion list right now, things that are in the works, but the other one that I have my eye on right now is The Long Walk, which I am shocked that, like, immediately after Hunger Games became a hit, I'm shocked someone didn't fast track that.
It's been in the works for like
For
30
a
years.
long time,
Yeah.
but I'm just surprised someone didn't press go immediately
Right.
after that became a thing.
Probably tied up in one of the previous adaptations.
Yeah.
Wasn't Frank Darabont trying to do it forever?
There were a lot of big names, and who's the big name that they landed on? Is that a Muschietti project, or is it Overdahl?
I don't know.
I can attempt to look
I am
that up
not
too.
Google, Perry. I don't know all the things. I know very few things.
Usually I have my computer on me and I'm really quick to do this.
But I will say, since Frank Darabont came up, I'm a huge, huge stand for The Mist. So that would be a great Halloween Stephen King watch.
I quite like that movie as well.
I love my creature features. I like those big monsters.
Yeah. I was just rewatching, another one that's a good one to watch is watch and read. I just finally read Cujo, and then I rewatched Cujo after, and that's another one. I feel like because I had seen Cujo the movie first, it's a really great way to go from movie to book, because you can't really get in the dog's head in the movie. So then it comes with this whole extra layer in the book where you actually are, you can get a sense of what Cujo is feeling and struggling through, and he doesn't necessarily come off as like a bad dog.
Well, I get you, but also
very
deadly.
Very, very deadly, but admittedly at the very beginning when he does get bit, my heart hurt for him.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's not his fault.
It's a dog. That sucks.
right.
Well, I guess those last two now sound kind of depressing. The Mist and sad dog stuff. So what's a not depressing Stephen King recommendation?
A not
for
depressing
fun
Stephen
times.
King recommendation.
Yes, for fun Halloween partying.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they're all very dramatic
Misery?
films. Misery. I don't know. I got it. Creepshow.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's
or
a
watch
good
the
call.
new series on Shudder. But Creepshow is perfect
Have you watched
Halloween
any of the
energy.
new series?
I haven't yet. I'm very
ashamed.
ashamed.
I know. I didn't have time to get around to it, and I was a little bummed too.
Maybe I'll do
I also
that for
still haven't
Halloween.
figued out who's directing the damn Long Walk movie.
That's okay.
Is it really? I wanted to know. Oh, look, a Collider article.
Oh,
How
I know those
handy.
guys.
Written by Haleigh Fouch, nonetheless.
No memory of it.
Blah, blah, blah.
Didn't happen.
James Vanderbilt? No, that's not who I was thinking. The new incarnation of the adaptation comes from filmmaker James Vanderbilt, who penned scripts for everything from Zodiac to White House Down. Interesting.
How long
King
ago was that article, though? Because again, it's been in development.
No, yeah, it's too old. I'm
very
betting
long time.
It is one of the new directors that's in that pool of really hot horror names right now.
Uh-huh.
Man. Wait. Even better, tags. No, it's not going to work. Why do I try to use the mobile site?
I don't know.
I'm going to stop that now.
No, our mobile site's great. You should definitely use it.
I needed a tag, though.
I know.
And I wasn't going to type it out.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Do we want to move on to our next section?
Yeah.
It was slasher
Slashers.
section for Friday the 13th. Let's just get the
That's
obvious
right.
one out of the way first. There is no Halloween for me without watching Scream. I mean, really, there's no month of the year for me
Same.
without watching Scream, but Halloween month just gives me even more urgency to put it in. And
I can't claim I watch it 12 times a year, but
I
I do watch it every October
think
without
I come
fail.
pretty close, actually.
Nice.
When I think about how often I rewatch Scream and Jurassic, it's just like those go-to movies that when you're in a bad mood, like they're gonna make you feel better, or you'll lose yourself for a little while.
Gross Point Blank.
Okay. We all have our own lists.
Yeah.
But rewatching Scream is a priority, and also, admittedly, I still have my Scream soundtrack CD.
Nice.
And that gets played every once in a while.
You were right. It's Andre Overdahl.
Everyone's making faces in this room at me. I was on the right path.
You were.
Andre Overdahl. But Andre Overdahl is making his Dracula boat movie first.
Yes, Dracula Boat. Yeah.
What's your slasher of choice right now?
Well, Scream is definitely the first one I always watch at the top of October. In fact, this year I didn't even wait that long. I watched it on September 12th. I was in it to win it this year, and I watched all 4, and it was wonderful.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
It was so good. I can't recommend 2 and 4 enough as well. I really think they're both excellent sequels. But of course,
I will never say no to 3, though.
Oh, I will. Most years. But it was a fun rewatch. I don't need to see it again real soon.
It pales in comparison, but I think 3 is just, it's silly stupid.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but I definitely, I will watch 2 almost every time I watch 1.
Okay.
That is not true of 3.
Okay. That's not entirely true of me just because I'll rewatch one over and over and and over again, but I will never say no to two.
It's perfect. There are those out there who claim it's better than the first. I can't party with that.
No.
But it's very good. I mean, I feel like just to get this out of the way, it must be said, Halloween, of course. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Watch a Halloween movie. For me, it's the original H2O. Those are my go-tos. Because I'm a child of the 90s.
What about an offbeat slasher movie or an unexpected one? The first thing that just came to my mind as a good recommendation is, especially given the fact that we're in the Friday the 13th section, is The Final Girls.
That's the exact same one I was
Seriously?
going to say.
So that hands down is one of my favorite
Yes.
South by Southwest premiere experiences ever. I just thought the whole thing was so clever. Immediately fell in love with those characters. Like, it's fun, it's suspenseful, it plays with the genre so well. I can't recommend that movie enough. And that's another one that really suits the whole Halloween communal, have some fun with your friends kind of vibe.
I love that movie so much. It's one of my favorites. It's one I think that actually earns the overused term underrated.
Yeah.
It is not talked about enough. I love that. Along the same lines, since we're very, very in a meta space right now between Scream and The Final Girls.
This is true.
Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon is another excellent
It
slasher.
might be on Shudder because I feel like I almost rewatched this recently, and I think it was because I was.
I'm pretty
I
sure
was
it's on Amazon too.
I think I was scrolling through the Shudder menu.
That's a good one. I
Yeah.
love that movie. They made comic book follow-ups to it.
Did they really?
Yeah, and they're good.
Huh.
It
I was hoping
last
they
year
would
or
make
the
a
year
sequel
before.
to that.
There's long talk. They
I know,
never
I
happened.
know.
Sigh. But they did make the comics finally, which was a nice continuation.
Yeah. There's no moving on from this section without. I mean, we've already name dropped Halloween, which is super important. But the other thing that, especially Halloween time, that I would put on that exact same level is Trick or Treat.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like another one where there's no Halloween celebration without watching, Sam's adventures throughout the night.
Absolutely. That's the one
that's a
I
must.
save for proper October 31st pretty much every
Yeah.
year. That's when I watch it.
I don't save it because I watch it often, but it's like a must watch on the
Yeah.
31st. I will guarantee you that when I hop on that plane tonight and I'm flying home to New York, I will be watching that on my iPad
Nice.
because I will not let the holiday pass without a viewing. But I really miss the days of FearNet when it had the 24-hour marathon of it. Did you ever watch that? That was like one of my favorite days ever.
Yeah, that and the AMC marathon used to be more, I don't know, beefed up. It lasted. I feel like it lasted or had better movies. Look, guys, the streaming wars are not good for any of us. The rights problems have become a situation.
Yeah,
I've been trying to do, like all the best Halloween movies you can watch on Netflix or Hulu, and it used to be that there were a lot of great Halloween classics. Now everyone's taking them for their own streaming services.
It is true.
Which is a bummer. But
It's true, and then I thought about the rights issue for the 80s movies that is upon us, and then that will bleed into the 90s. Oh no, no doom and gloom on the witching hour.
Well, we must say, again, tied to the location, but Nightmare on Elm Street, any of them. I like them all,
Yeah.
even the bad ones.
I mean,
watch them.
that's another thing that suits the great for Halloween
Yes.
friend watching kind of
perfect.
feeling. Minus the remake, which
Ooh, no, you're
should-
right.
should
That
not
I don't
be
like that one.
rewatched.
that's
Really-
a big no.
Really ever.
No. I had to rewatch that for the ranking I did for the website, and
It's that bad.
What an
Yeah.
unfortunate time.
I think I've seen it. I saw it twice.
Yeah,
you know,
that
when
was
it,
my second
when
time.
it came out, and then I think I saw it for like a DVD release type thing, and
Yeah.
I just said to myself, never again. It's
Woof.
like it's like that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie with Alexandra Daddario that I despise
rather
so
watch
much.
that.
But the only scene that I still watch over and over whenever I need a laugh is watching her trip over nothing twice. I find that very funny.
I would rather watch that in which she is, I believe, supposed to be like 42 years old or something.
the fact that
I
the math
know.
in that movie
Yeah,
makes no
it's
sense
insane.
astounds me.
Beautifully insane.
I'll just pass on watching either of them, and if it's comparable, or it's probably not comparable, but I'll watch Scream 3 over and over instead.
I would say if you're gonna go for like, it's not the right holiday, but the My Bloody Valentine remake is a lot of fun, and not at all what happened with those two.
Admittedly, I haven't revisited it in a while, but I can't remember like having as much fun with it as most people tell me they have. But
I had a lot of
maybe it
fun.
is worth going back to.
It's quite delightful. man, you know what? On the lines of Friday the 13th, I'm kind of a apologist for Freddy versus Jason, and it's perfect for Halloween.
You have nothing to be ashamed about. I will watch that movie anytime. That and also the 2009 remake. I think that's an underrated remake. I don't think The Thing is phenomenal, but I think there's a lot of good in it. Yeah?
I like it a lot. Freddy vs. Jason was one of my first and worst dates.
Really?
Yes.
Do I dare ask what happened?
I was just, no, you don't, because it's dreadfully dull.
Okay. That's this wasn't a terrible date, but a mishap happened. I went on a date to go see Final Destination 2.
Oh.
Yeah, and there was a snowstorm. I think I've told you this story. There was a snowstorm, and when I left the theater with my date, my dad was parked outside, and he wouldn't let the date drive me home in, like, snowy terrain. So I got in the car with my dad, and he followed my date all the way back to his house to make sure he got home safely.
Proper dad stuff.
It was extremely awkward, but I remember the moment fondly, and it's one of my favorite movies.
I remember Freddy versus Jason fondly.
That's all that matters, right? Forget dates, the movies.
No.
All right. Last section we're in right now. This is a little something for everybody because we have made our way over to Beetlejuice, and I think Beetlejuice is the perfect example of a movie that is fun for the whole family. I will never forget watching both Beetlejuice the movie, but I was also very into the cartoon as a kid. I just loved those characters, and I love the look of it all, and like it's menacing, but it's also playful. I feel like I could recommend that. Again, I have to say, like, I am not someone to ask if you should let your kid do a thing, but this feels kid-friendly to me.
Kids are fine. They can take a lot. They'll have bad dreams. It's fine.
You got more faith than I do.
They're fine.
I'm afraid to scar one for life. I don't know.
They can take it.
All right, it's Beetlejuice. Go watch it.
It's like germs. It's not good to protect them too much when they're young, or they don't build their defenses.
I guess I wash my hands a lot, though.
That's good. That's a good habit. Family friendly. So Coraline.
Yes.
I actually think it's really spooky.
It is really spooky. Other mothers, creepy.
That would have given me nightmares as a kid.
It might have given me nightmares too.
Yeah, but it's appropriate for children. You should watch it. It's very spooky. What else? And again, I don't have kids. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Hocus
I can
Pocus.
confidently, yes, that one's perfect.
Hocus Pocus is the easiest answer.
Yeah.
That I think is totally, like, I am confident in saying that's totally safe for anybody. It celebrates the spirit of Halloween. It has delightful lead performances from Kathy Najimy, Bette Midler, and Sarah Jessica Parker, and her, just like that whole song and dance number gives me all the Halloween life. And also the scene where they're just like busting down the street while kids are trick-or-treating all over the place. I love it.
All of it.
Yeah.
It's all
really, I mean,
perfectly-
really all of it.
Yes. I was going to say something a little goofier, but 100% any kid can handle Spooky Buddies.
Spooky Buddies?
Yes, it's the one where the dogs are in Halloween costumes.
I've never even watched this.
Oh, I'm sorry. You haven't watched the Buddies films? The esteemed Buddies collection? Space Buddies, Super Buddies?
No.
Spooky Buddies? My friend.
Is this like Air Bud?
Yes, it's a spin-off, but they're puppies instead of one
I
spectacular
think the
dog.
thing that I'm most afraid of are dog movies, just because something potentially bad could happen
No,
to
these
the
are not
dog,
those
so-
movies.
Okay.
These are the movies where you go, oh my God, there are 6 golden labs in a spacesuit. That's incredible.
Okay.
They're perfect.
Spooky Buddies.
Yes.
Are they puppies?
Yes.
Okay.
They are. They're delicious little
All right,
puppies.
all right. Maybe I'll make my plane
Safe for the whole family.
Maybe I'll make my plane viewing a double feature: Spooky Buddies and Trick or Treat.
There you go.
Okay.
I don't know. Spooky Buddies, I don't know if it's a good plain movie because it's really something you put on the background. The story's not there, but the puppies are.
I mean, puppies are delightful in
Yes.
any setting.
This is not appropriate for the children, all the kids that listen to us. But the Buddies films are my go-to hangover movies. And just throw some dogs on. They're all cute.
I've never tried that, but
Yeah.
maybe it will ease my hangover.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
next
It does.
hangover.
It does.
Just
It
the
helps
slightest bit.
absorb the liquor.
So, I mean, I feel like this was a whole nother section of the conversation we needed to have, but it's going to have to wait. Maybe we'll make a whole episode about that
Yes.
once. Actually, that kind of would be fun. I probably shouldn't put this out until we've agreed on it, but the idea of maybe doing, horror-friendly mixology and then pairing that with a good, drinking and watching experience and then a good hangover remedy after?
That'd be fun.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Pocket that for the future.
Let's do that.
All right. I think we got to wind this down.
Well, we gotta not leave off The Nightmare Before Christmas because it's just rude.
It's just rude, but I feel like I bring it up so often that I almost felt bad, continuously saying it.
I know, and everyone knows.
And it's also because, I wanted to save it a little because I'm not going to stop talking about it through Christmas now.
That's true. That's true. Well, like The Shining, it's good for both.
That's true. As long as you, give me the okay to keep talking about it, I'm going to keep talking about it.
I've been talking about it for however many years old I am.
Okay. All right. So I hope all those recommendations keep you busy throughout the day. I hope you have a wonderful and safe Halloween tonight. And just because Halloween is going to be over and done with soon does not mean your love of horror movies needs to end. We talk horror on The Witching Hour every week.
Yes, we do.
Throughout the entire year. We have recommendations nonstop. And if you're in the Los Angeles area and you like where we're sitting right now, come visit I Like Scary Movies because this is something else, especially if you want some cool photo ops.
Oh yeah, your Instagram will love this place.
That. And if you do go and visit the installation, why don't you tag us in it? We want to see your pictures and your adventures here too. Haleigh, where can everyone find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Haystack McGroovy and on Twitter at Haleigh Fouch.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at PNemroff. If you want more information on where to find I Like Scary Movies, we've got a link in the Collider.com article in the description section of this video, so do check it out. That's it. We're done. You have officially survived The Witching Hour.
Happy Halloween!